Hello, it's that time of the life again. This is part of a series called 40 Days of Questions. I am answering lots of your questions during Lent. Today's question is anonymous, so I thought I would just paraphrase it. Basically, the question is, what do you do to be there for somebody who is struggling with something and you can't do anything about it? I was talking about this the other day because I think, quite rightly, there's lots and lots and lots of information out there for people who are struggling with things, and that is most important and awesome and underfunded, undervalued, etc. Top of the priority list. However, sometimes there's very little room to talk about being there for somebody who is struggling with something. And often I can feel like I'm doing it really wrong. And I definitely think I've changed my approach to it over the years, because I think sometimes your panic response or your gut response and what you do when you're trying to be there for somebody isn't always the best one, but it depends. I think there's this thing when you're growing up, like being like, talk to your friends about your problems, but really there's a subtext there that is that, not that it will just help, but that your friends will have the answers, which is wrong. It's the most important thing to talk to people, especially people that care about you, about the things you're going through. But you shouldn't expect them to have the answers. And as somebody who is supporting somebody, you should also feel like you don't have to have the answers. I used to do this thing where somebody would come to me with a problem and I would instantly, one, form an opinion on it for them, and then two, try and find an instant solution. Then, some people did that to me, and I was like, oh, this is the most unhelpful thing ever. Sometimes it feels like inaction or like you're not caring to not have a fully formed verbal paragraph response to something somebody's talking to you about. But actually, saying less is a lot more valuable. It takes you off centre stage. I know that friendships are supposed to be two-way, but when somebody has an issue, I feel like 75% of the conversation should be them. So I think it's worth consciously leaving room to go, instead of going, oh, well, I tell you, I heard about somebody who had that problem and here's what they did, duh. To, one, validate their feelings of helplessness, because sometimes some problems do seem insolvable. If you say, oh, here's the answer, duh, not only have they got this huge problem, a solution that might not work, they've also got all the shame of not having thought of that themselves, that they're so inadequate they can't even think of the right solution for themselves. Arrogance is a huge thing to lay down when you're talking about somebody else's problem. I think instead of going, oh, here's an answer, start asking smarter questions. That's the alarm for my chips coming out of the oven. SOSV important. It's asking thoughtful questions about the stories that they have, not petty ones or what time did that happen, but more kind of, and had that happened before, or had that person said that before, or what was your relationship like with them before? Trying to contextualise their problem through curiosity, they're asking about the history of it, is, I think, really helpful. When the time is right and you're talking about it, to ask leading questions like, and what's the next step? Or who else have you told about this? We don't know the answer. Is there anybody who would know the answer? How do we find them? It's always precursoring opinions that you do have about the situation with, well, you know better than me, but it would seem from my end that. And then also I know that I've had some friends in the past that have had really huge issues that I'm like, that feels like it should be reported to the police. Or that feels like something that should definitely be dealt with by adults. And in some cases that's appropriate, especially if you think they're at immediate risk. But I think there's also an argument for, especially if people feel like they have lost control in a situation or their agency has been taken away from them, to be a further person in their lives to take that agency away and say, hey, I know what's best for you, can kind of, make you can add to the problem rather than be part of the solution, I think, with that. So there's always the encouragement to go, hey, this sounds like the best thing for you to do, the safest thing for you to do, the most logical thing for you to do. If they say, yeah, they want to do it, then maybe set a time limit with them and go, cool, when are you going to do it? Like, do you want me to check in with you? Is there any way I can make it easier for you to do? Sorry, I'm being really vague here, I know, but I think that's like necessary. But then if they don't feel like it's the right time to do it, just give them all the information they need and make sure that they still feel like they are in control of the situation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to say any more on that. I think it's just being empathetic. And also, if it's an issue that you have no idea about, try not to ask the person in that moment to educate you on the topic. So say if it's like LGBT issues, self-harm issues, eating disorder issues, try, if you can, and go away and read about that topic independently before you come to them with really basic questions about it. I think that's really important, to not put an extra burden on somebody by going, I don't understand this, could you explain it to me slowly? I think it's really cool to ask somebody, could you explain it to me from your point of view, or can you explain to me how you experience it? But having a base level, there's so much information out there that it's really great to skip that step of asking somebody's emotional labour, and really utilising the kind of material that people have already put out there willingly for you to get your grubby little mitts on. Does that make any sense? Sorry, it's a bit of a down day today. I'm feeling quite ill. How are you guys feeling? I'm feeling a bit, yeah, I think that's it, but to be honest, I don't even have the answers to how to be there for people. So I'd love if you guys could share in the comments like tips on how you've been there for people, or if you've had issues in your life, what has been the best thing for you and what's been the worst thing. So it's always good to read what somebody else has done that was really shitty, to be like, okay, cool, I won't do that. So yeah, I don't know, this is a kind of hard topic, and I know it's getting really late in the month, but I thought it was like one that I would like to address. I feel like we have so many great minds here in the comment section of this channel that like I thought I'd just like reach out to you guys and be like, hey, hive mind, how do we do this? Thank you for watching 40 Days of Questions. My name is Leena. If you'd like to watch the playlist, you can click here. I look forward to reading all of your very wise comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Frog Smug out.